Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Germany is at war with free speech and with truth, with the truth. Imagine this. Imagine that, let's say, you were divorced, and someone comes and says somewhere, hey, Gigi was divorced, and now he gets married again. And you going to file a complaint, and I will be charged $10,000. And probably I'm going to be jailed as well. I'm not sure yet. Is that a fact that you were divorced? Yeah. So I just mentioned that you were divorced in the past, and if I want to taunt you, I can taunt you how much I want. If I feel like being an asshole or whatever that's, if that makes me happy. You're going to be hurt? Okay, move away. Is that a fact? Yeah. So why should I be fined? Well, it's exactly what the Germans do. The German government does right now. If you mention that someone changed its gender. So let's say someone was a boy before and then decided, I'm going to show you, decided that now is a girl or a woman. And you say, I know, Michelle used to be Mike. Huh! You'll get fined $10,000 for telling the truth. This is Germany for you. This is one. And the other one, Germans can now change gender every year. They have to do only this. I identify as, that's it. No hormone treatment, nothing. They just can say it. And they can start doing that at age 5. The children. Obviously, the parents come and say, yes, you can do it. They do it. And then I think at 14, I'm going to read this article for you. At 14, they can do it with the parents' approval. If the parents say, yeah, go ahead, they can change their name, they can change their gender and so on. But you get fined if you say that Gigi used to be Michelle and vice versa. What is this? Remember, leave to let leave or something. Let us leave. Just, don't discriminate against us. Just accept us as we are. We just want to live a nice, a good life. From imposing us to say something. Or not applauding, being too enthusiastic if we don't participate in, I don't know what kind of fucking celebrations. I think that goes too far. For my liking. I think I should be allowed, as a free person that supposedly I am, to say what the fuck ever I want about whatever issue I want. I can make a fool of myself how much I want. You don't like it? I don't like you either. So what are we going to do? You're going to eliminate me? Is that what it is? You're going to fine me? You're going to silence me by fining me? What is this? Are you special now? You have more rights or temporary privileges than I have? It seems like. Let me show you this article. And my problem is with telling the truth, not with a transgender or with this. They can, but don't. I mean, to what extent I'm supposed to play in this, to pretend? To what in your whatever interpretation of life, and I am not allowed to tell the truth, but I'm supposed to participate in your thing. Isn't that like going one way? And again, I have nothing with those guys. They can do what the fuck ever they want. But you're going to find me if I say something that's true? This is not Western civilization. This is more like something else. Russia Today. Germans can now change gender every year. A bill adopted by the Bundestag allows parents to register children as young as 5 as a different sex. German citizens will be able to change their sex on legal documents without undergoing surgery or hormone therapy under a new bill passed by the Bundestag last Friday. Today is the 15th of, this is from the 15th of April. It stipulates that an oral request, verbal request, is sufficient, eliminating the need for expert assessment, which was previously mandatory. The law comes into effect in November. The legislation on self-determination, quote-unquote, in gender was backed by 374 MPs, mostly from the ruling Traffic Light Coalition. What does that mean? You know what it means. With another 251 lawmakers against and the remaining 11 abstaining. So you have no opinion? No take? The current regulations date back to 1981 and states that individuals wishing to change their gender must first undergo 2 psychological evaluations. The final decision under the law rests with a district court. Chesler-Schultz ruling coalition argued that the existing procedures were degrading towards transgender individuals, as they had to share intimate details with officials. Under the new law, parents will be allowed to make a request to change the gender of a child as young as 5, with the consent of the child present. Remember, we all been 6, right? So imagine how much you knew at 6. And you go in front of some big people over there and they ask you, hey, what do you think about that? You don't even know what the fuck they're talking about. And you say, yes or no. Imagine that. Why don't you let them vote? Or get married or something. Or, carry guns or smoke, drink. With the consent of the child present, minors over 14 will be able to change their first name and gender alone, as long as they have the consent of their parents or legal representatives. Individuals will be allowed to make a change once per year. Why not once a second? What's the difference? Germans will, what's the 1 year mark? Why is it not 2 years? Why it's not 3 months? Why is not 6 months? Why is not monthly? What's the reason? If you tell me that that's the time for the child to reassess, why a year? What's the year? Yeah, any study that tells me that after a year only I'm like, I need a time. Exactly a year. What? This is all, as I said many times already. Guys, the same with do what the fuck ever you want, but don't impose anything on me. And don't discriminate against me for not willing to participate in your thing, as you don't want to participate in my thing. It goes both ways. But you know what's strange? Why don't we have these things in other societies? Let's try this in Africa. There are some, probably. Let's try this in other. It's Germany, United States of America, Australia, New Zealand, Canada, France. Western. Why? How come it's only here? Are we only the ones that are ahead of the curve? We are the ones that are, progressive enough, and everybody else is like, geez, I didn't even know I can do that. Actually, I don't feel like being this or that. Who's pushing for this? Oh, it's just something that comes from inside? Oh, my bad. I'm still, caveman mentality. Really. But as I said, I don't have a problem with that. I have a problem with being fined for telling the truth. Why do we have courts anymore? Germany is not the only, this is not the only thing. They put you in jail for 6 years, I think 6 years. If you deny something or you talk something, denying in a way, well, I have questions about that historical event. You can be charged, convicted, and go to prison in Germany. Not telling there's no moon over there. That moon doesn't exist. Nobody cares about you. But these things do. Why? Because they can go to violence. Well, then, do you think that imposing things, forcing me, will get what? An opposite reaction. And that's going to probably turn into something else. So, Germans will also have the right to replace the words mother and father in family register with a neutral term parent. As Putin said, parent number 1 and parent number 2, Putin said. You can watch it on video. No non-binary individuals can register as diverse. Diversity is our strength. Instead of having to choose between male and female. This is what bothers me. Under the recent passed legislation, anyone who attempts to expose an individual's past gender identity can be fined up to 10,000 euros, which is $10,630. To expose, that means saying, oh, Michelle used to be Mike. Is that a fact? Yeah. So what the fuck? The law leaves it up to saunas, swimming pools, gyms, and other sports, whatever. Here is, my friends. What about us? What about people like me? People like others? who say, well, this is, no, I don't think so. Are you going to tell me about the democratic process? Well, how come it just exploded now? And it didn't explode, let's say, 50 years ago, 70 years ago, 100 years ago? How come? Is the explosion occurred right now in an accelerated way? Is it because of the media? The coverage? Is it because someone said something? I mean, look at the number. Look at the number of how many transgender people are in a society. In certain societies, let's put the advanced ones on this course, is less than 1%, I guess. Not I guess, I think I know. Less than 1%. And we are so, what about the 99%? What about the other ones? I'm understand to protect certain things, but you don't protect by banning me, banning my observation of reality and truth. Now imagine you go in front of a courtroom and you're not supposed to say certain things that are true because you get fined. You get in prison, let's say. I can't talk about this one, I cannot be truthful because you're gonna, I don't know, here it is, 10,000 euros. Or you can go 5 years, 6 years in prison for having some questions regarding an event. Maybe I say, well, I don't think this is really white. This is a little dirty white. You denied this is white. So, if I want to say tomorrow this is black, I can say how much I want. No, you can't. No, you can't in Germany. So this is when they tell you about the free world. Maybe it's freer than somewhere else, but these are smarter, sneakier than those guys. Why? Because they have the baboons thinking that they're educated, because some of them graduated something, they have a diploma. And that's the easiest way to fool someone. Give him the false perception of knowledge, which is a diploma. As I always say, give me 5 minutes. In 5 minutes, if I ask 3 questions and I got the answer, I can gauge you to about 95%, let's say 90% of who you are, how you think. And if I ask you about 2 issues, I know 98% how you are. And those issues are, tell me about tell me about Noah from the Old Testament. And the other one is, tell me about Israel. The Israel and the Middle East situation. And I listen to you for about, I don't know, it's enough for me to hear maybe 2 sentences and understand if I can pursue a logical, objective, scientific, intellectual conversation further. Because if you are incapable of being objective in those 2 matters, that means you're intellectually unsincere. Thank you very much. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.